Hello, my name is Eric James, and I'm here to talk to you all today about gender inclusion in student organizations. Both my co-author and I are currently second-year students at Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, and we also wanted to include the disclaimer at the bottom of this slide. A little bit of background, as many of you likely know, medical students overwhelmingly want to create social change. And if you look at the AAMC matriculating student questionnaire, you'll see that over 66% of incoming students rank creating social change as either very important or essential in their future careers. But despite that, we still see a number of discrepancies in medicine, including in the residency matching rates based on gender. And what we noticed at our own institution was that we had 8 student organizations with only one gender on their leadership boards. And of those 8, 5 were specialty interest groups, which were also dominated in clinical practice by the same gender. As you can see here, these are the 5 specialty interest groups which we had that had only one gender represented, and we defined dominance in clinical practice as greater than 60% of the most recent residency matching cohort being of one gender. In our student organization leadership selection process, we primarily have second-year students comprising the leadership team, and then first-year students will apply for those positions at the end of their first year. Then the current second-year students who are on that board will select the M1s to be the next leadership team. And what we decided to do was send some information along to both the first and second year students in order to try and foster a mentality of intentional inclusion on the part of the second years who were selecting applicants, as well as to the first years to ensure that they felt they could apply to these positions, even if they didn't see their gender currently represented on those boards or in clinical practice for those specialties. So some of the information that we provided was historical data, as well as primary research studies and other literature looking at the gaps in gender in medicine. We also included information from the NRMP as it related to what the importance of specialty interest groups could be on the residency selection process, which included things like perceived commitment to specialty, extracurricular activity involvement, leadership skills, and involvement in research. We also included some other information about the potential long-term impacts of a lack of representation, like the likelihood for someone to go into a certain specialty if they didn't also have a mentor of the same gender in that specialty during medical school. So in total, after providing that information, we saw a reduction in the total number of specialty interest groups, which were also dominated in clinical practice by one gender, to 3. We did have 2 additional specialty interest groups with only one gender on their board, but neither of them were dominated in clinical practice by either gender. We also hope that the students who receive the information will go on to carry that mentality of intentional inclusion with them, not only throughout medical school, but also throughout their careers as physicians. As you can see here, these are the 3 specialties which we had that still had leadership teams comprised of only one gender with the matching dominance in clinical practice by the same gender. So in conclusion, we know that medical students want to create social change, but we also have to acknowledge and reconcile the role that we might play in proliferating some of those discrepancies. One way that we can do that is by providing the information directly to students along with a mentality of intentional inclusion. And we really hope that other medical schools and medical students will consider doing a similar audit as we did, not only for gender, but also for things like age, race, and socioeconomic status. Here are the references that I used in this presentation. And if you have any follow-up questions, I would be happy to answer them. You can see my email listed here. It's ejjames@oakland.edu. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.